Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. This is my Rahim here. Message of the Covenant, breaking 7 seals. Special presentation again, brothers and sisters. I'm coming to the end of my ministry mission. Going to war soon. May not be too many presentations. May not be too many presentations after this. Anyway, I do as what I can. You know, this here, a lot of confusion. That's what I'm going to focus on. A lot of confusion. Why? See, Elijah came, and it was clear. You know, those with Elijah, those were opposed to Elijah. A couple of hypocrites, peppered here and there. But now, everybody, they all represent Elijah, but they all, you see, they represent Elijah. I mean, why they are not all united? Temple A, Temple B, Mosque G. See what I'm saying? The aliens. All over the place. You never saw it before. That is by design. Okay. Where they go is to get these Cadillac niggas. So I call them. Okay. The devil used those back in the day. He still uses them now. Okay. But you see, he don't have no job, anything. He's riding around the Cadillac. Where do you think he got that money from? Oh, he's a drug dealer. Yeah. How come? Everybody, you know a drug dealer. You know he's a drug dealer. The cops see a drug. How come they don't arrest him? Everybody knew the drug dealers were back in the day. They're the ones that had the car, the Cadillacs. They had no job. Cops knew who they were. The bottom line is that this is all about the separation, brothers and sisters. That's my job. Right? That's it. A light separates things. So in darkness, everything's confused. You can't see. The light separates everything. So, oh, that's that. Hold on here, brothers and sisters. Let me turn this thing off. Let me turn this off, brothers and sisters. It's been some 2 weeks, brothers and sisters. I talk about the drought. I don't know if you understand that. I was telling you about that, but that's where we are right now. Drought just before the rain. So we used up all the energy from the last 50 years. That means things are not working right. Right? Everything seems to be going off. If you understand it. That seems to be working right. If you understand the math behind it, and these niggas don't understand the math behind it. Okay? And they did it cause confusion. I mean, look at the confusion. How can anyone find the right path? Oh, I'm with Elijah, but I'm over here. I'm with Elijah, I'm over there. I'm with FARRACON, but I'm over here. Well, I'm with Wallace, I'm over here. See? It's all centered around the same thing. Elijah taught. All of them are offsprings of Elijah, yet still they can't get along. Yet Elijah preached unity. It's confusion. So if you're out there and you're seeking the truth, what you going to do? Just think, what are you going to do? There's just a whole lot of stuff out there. And if you're a rational person, right, you might say, yo, I don't want to do it anyway because all that confusion, that can't be the right way of all that. I mean, they're all confused like that. And they talking about Elijah. They said Elijah's preaching confusion. He says his legacy is confusion. Because we got everybody out there claiming they were Elijah. You understand what I'm saying? You understand the point here? So the thing is, if the one comes with the truth, he's just another clown in the circus, as far as they're concerned. How would they know? So they can't see the truth because they block the confusion. That's purpose confusion to keep you from seeing the light. That's put dark, confusion. And that's what's going on. They're calling Cadillac niggas. See? Because they don't know anything. I got a Cadillac. See? I got a Cadillac. So, hey. And the girl that jumped in the car, hey, man, she got a Cadillac. He don't know a goddamn thing. He can't produce anything. He's stupid as hell. But I got a Cadillac. And that's what these clowns say. If you talk to them, I lie. They don't know a goddamn thing. They don't know shit. And right now, they can't tell anything about what's going on in the world right now. Nothing. You see? And they're going to pay a heavy price for that. Because it tells you clearly, any stone gets in the way of that truth will be broken and crushed. When you crush something, you can't do it anymore. You crush it. After the worst thing you can do to it is burn it. But if you crush it first, damn. Burn it, you crush it and then burn it. Whoa. If you just burn it, that's bad enough. But you're going to crush it first? That's painful. Put yourself in a hole. And somebody put a square, a cubic concrete block on you to weigh about 500 pounds. And it's crushing you. And you're trying to keep it, look at all the pain you're going through trying to keep it being crushed. Because you're not going to just say, you're going to try, your defense mechanism is going to say, try to stop it. So you're going to all this pain and agony, and the thing's getting heavier and heavier and heavier. And then when you can't hold it back no more, now it's on you. How long will it take to actually crush you? A day? 2 days? You're in total agony until finally you blink out. You have no idea, bro and sisters, but see, they're out there. So we're going to talk about that in a minute, bro and sisters. Let's move on. Cadillac niggas. X. Eric. Daniel. Israel. Don't know a goddamn thing. They don't know shit. And they tell you, we can prove everything we say. They can prove a damn thing and say, because why they come to get that $5,000 I've been telling them about? See, all that confusion, it's going to break through in a minute. That's the thing. The lights will come on. Just think about that. The lights are about to come on. Okay, you're in the room and you see stuff moving around, but you don't know what's going on. And all of a sudden, lights come on. You see roaches, you see a rat. So all of a sudden, then you go to work. Because you couldn't do it. And all you stuff running on you and everything. You know what the hell is going on. Lights come on, everything, okay. They're in trouble now. That rat's in trouble now. See, they were safe in the dark. But now the roaches in trouble now, ain't they? And they're not there to be pets, are they? They'll be destroyed. Destroyed. The lights come on, and the people are going to destroy these clowns. They're going to destroy them. It's not going to be any mercy. Like I said, the Quran says, you had the most grievous chastisement. If you understand anything, I've been telling you, the grievous chastisement not be done by no Holy Spirit, no Holy Ghost, it's going to be done by you. It said, and you're going to inflict the most grievous chastisement on them. Once you see them, they're visible, and you see exactly, send them like so-called son of man, send me money. Well, why? It's a free gift. All this stuff, and you was confusing, and you was all these lies. You telling these, when the lights come on, those folks gonna be in severe trouble, and light is about to come on. Because as soon as that war resumes, and if you listen to anybody, that war gonna resume any minute now. Trump already said, the post has some riots, some over there. I'm gonna come in. But yeah. That's another story. I don't get sidetracked in that right now, brothers and sisters. The point I'm trying to make is that lights will come on. Everything's gonna be exposed. The Jinn gonna be. You're gonna know who the Jinn are. You know who the golden calf is, because the angel's right there. It's like you see right now. But the problem is that you're still in an emotional state. I don't care what you say. If you've been studying the angel, whatever, you're still in an emotional state, because I can't make any clearer than that. That's why you can't understand the angel. Angel's in the intellectual state. It's a gym to move you up to that level. And once you get to that level, then you start understanding what's in there. But you can't see it. That means your emotional state is still driving you. It's still blocking you. Then you may be on a 10% or 20%. You're still in that state. You won't get out until you break through that state. And the point is that emotionalism is nothing wrong with emotions. We have emotion. It's good for us. The problem is disciplining them. You see evidence of all this transgender stuff, this LGBT stuff, all this political stuff, all this emotional stuff, or constantly war threatening people. That's on the emotional level, because people can't control their sexual desire. So, hey, now I'm a transgender, I'm an LGBT. Okay? They control their sexual, right? They control their emotions. They're arguing and fighting, right? By doing drugs. You see? Now, I'm talking about the kind of advertising. Well, you get a personal counselor or something, be advertising, person that's for free or whatever. So you got to have somebody to talk to. See, this world is an emotional world. Emotions drives it. And if you to break free, you have to overcome your emotions. I didn't say get rid of them. No, we want emotions. That's part of us. Controlling them is one thing. It's like, you got to go to the bathroom, right? But you can walk around uncontrolled, just throwing your stuff all over the place. Or you can discipline it. You wouldn't want to be around anybody that can't control their, right? Their bowels and carrying on. You say, man, everybody's shaming the apartment. If you cannot control your emotions, you have emotions. We have strong emotions. We have the strongest emotion on the planet because we can control them. The devil's emotions are not strong in ours. It just says you can't control them. Remember, everything came from us. So we have the strongest aspect of everything. It's just that we can control it. They can't. They lose control of it. So you have to get control of it. You get home if you want to get home. If you get home, you don't have control, then you're going to be everlasting sharing a apartment. You're going to be locked up in a cage. It's your choice, brothers and sisters. The point of a messenger is like a weather person. They don't come and create the weather. They just come and tell you what the weather's going to be. I'm just telling you what it's going to be. I didn't create it. I don't like doing what I'm doing. I do not like doing what I'm doing. I hate this mission. This is not me. This is not something I want to do. Okay? But they dropped on me. I accept it. And I'm going to do it 100% right. But these clowns out here, they claiming this stuff. Ooh, when the light comes on, let's move on, brown sisters. Cadillac News.
I believe that America can be beautiful. How can America be made beautiful? Now, family, listen. My brother Imam Wadafuddin and I have had disagreement. But his followers and mine have never given each other as much as a bloody nose. Because in spite of our differences, there's a deep love in us. We don't like the things about our nation that is not good, but I don't want to live anywhere else. I want America to be made right. I don't want to see America go the way of Rome and Babylon and Sodom and Gomorrah. But why won't she go that way? If the men of religion and the women of religion keep silent.
$5,000. Cash payment to anyone who can prove that what lying son of a devil FARRACON is preaching is consistent with the lessons, supreme wisdom, of Master Fard Muhammad Elijah Muhammad's representation of his teacher Master Fard's teachings.
I gotta do this. Do you mind? Yes, I'm going to do something. I don't want to put my brother on the spot. See, this is this. This is something else. Love and faith transcends color. And the reason why we embrace Father Flagler as a brother is because we find him on the battlefield of justice, being a true disciple of Jesus. And the last thing I'll say is, you will never call us racist.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because this day that we honor,
Yes, sir.
Master Fard Muhammad, if you see an image of him, put his image up.
Yes, sir.
That's the man whose father was a black man and his mother a Caucasian. And how many of us have a parent that's a Caucasian or grandparent? It's not about color. It's about our submission to the will of God. And in that we find common ground and unity.
Yes, sir.
So I'm only one shade lighter than you, so. And Mustafa maybe 4 more shades lighter. We a family.
Yes, sir.
Let's stay a family and be a family and love each other as God would have us to love each other. We love you, Father. Happy Savior's Day. Thank you. I had to do that. We love you.
One more time, brother.
Total shit. Total against everything Elijah Muhammad taught. And totally against the lesson. Just look. Just look. If you dare.
Do you then believe in a part of the book and disbelieve in the other? What then is the reward of such among you as do this but disgrace in the life of this world, and on the day of resurrection they shall be sent back to the most grievous chastisement? And Allah is not heedless of what you do. 86 These are they who buy the life of this world for the hereafter, so their chastisement shall not be lightened, nor shall they be helped.
But no, Bum says I got to change something. Got something. Let me for a minute. Got something here. Boy. Not going to be. Change that. Okay. Oh boy. Okay, I'm gonna have to make a massive change here. I forgot to change something, brothers and sisters. I think this will work though. Temporarily. It didn't. Okay, that one did. That one. Here. Okay, I think I could make this work here. Okay, let's see what happens. Again, brothers and sisters, that should show you the soil. It's really against everything Elijah Muhammad said. Okay? That's part of the confusion, but see, they still be laughing in a few more days. Literally, a few more days. 2026, year of doom. See, they'll be laughing in a few more days. And then, again, Cadillac niggas all over the place. Yeah, I got a Cadillac. Don't know anything. Confusing the people. Yeah, that's all, I got a Cadillac. If you know, those of you remember back in the day, that's what it was. That was a big, that was a nigga dream. Give me a Cadillac. Right? If I don't care, don't know anything, couldn't tell you, couldn't even spell their own name half the time. Move on, brothers and sisters. Let's go to this quickly, brothers and sisters. That was being part of the book and this being the other. I talk about that. Okay, here's a message of the covenant. This is something they never talk about. So those of you that have eyes and willing to see, it's about message of the covenant. Let's look at it. Message of the covenant. They never talk about.
Malachi 3:1. Behold, I will send my messenger, and he shall prepare the way before me, and the Lord, whom ye seek, shall suddenly come to his temple, even the messenger of the covenant, whom ye delight in. Behold, he shall come, saith the Lord of hosts.
They never speak to that. It's right there about Elijah. Same place they tell you about Elijah, but they tell you Elijah the last one. That's not what this says. God says, no, there's another messenger that will come to Elijah's temple. You know the story about Jesus and John? Jesus came to John. John baptized him, and then he went off to start his own ministry. But they don't, why they never mention it? Remember that. They don't mention the messenger of the covenant, but it's right there. So Elijah is definitely not the last messenger, is he? That tells you some big lie right there. But remember, the messenger of the covenant, which they never mention. Right? That's the one you delight in. Let's go further. Remember, messenger of the covenant. Now the covenant.
Genesis 15:12. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and, lo, an horror of great darkness fell upon him. 13. And he said unto Abram, Know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. 14. And also that nation, whom they shall serve, will I judge, and afterward shall they come out with great substance.
Okay, here's the covenant, messenger of the covenant, and then the covenant. They never mentioned. Let's see what the covenant is. Let's see what it is. Messenger of the covenant they don't mention. Let's see what the covenant is. And plus, it says they're going to judge the nation that did this to us. 1619 to 2019, that's 40 years. And FARRACON said he don't want to see anything happen to them. But God said, I would judge them. So he's telling him, no, God, you better hold, back up. I don't want you to judge them. He said, I will judge that nation that did this to us. I don't want to see it happen to you. I don't want to see it happen to America. Why is that? Let's look at the next one. Let's look at what the covenant is. Here's the covenant.
Genesis 15:18. In the same day the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying, Unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates.
There's the covenant, brothers and sisters. They don't mention that either. Because Farrakhan said he calling God a liar because he says they know ain't no messenger after Elijah. God said it is. Messenger of the covenant. So he's calling God a liar in that count, and he's calling God a liar here because he says, we ain't going nowhere. And God says, no, we're going back home to Arabia. Look those. Where's the river Egypt and the great river Euphrates? That's Saudi Arabia. Look on the map. But Farrakhan said, we ain't going nowhere. So he's calling God a liar, and he says, God says it's going to be a messenger after Elijah. He said, ain't going to messenger after Elijah. Calling God a liar too. Now we know who the messenger of the covenant is. No, we know there's a messenger of the covenant. And we know there's a covenant. So who is the messenger of the covenant? Let's see if we can discern that.
Now after the death of Moses the servant of the Lord it came to pass, that the Lord spake unto Joshua the son of Nun, Moses' minister, saying, To Moses my servant is dead, now therefore arise, go over this Jordan, thou, and all this people, unto the land which I do give to them, even to the children of Israel. 3. Every place that the sole of your foot shall tread upon, that have I given unto you, as I said unto Moses. 4. From the wilderness and this Lebanon even unto the great river, the river Euphrates, all the land of the Hittites, and unto the great sea toward the going down of the sun, shall be your coast. There shall not any man be able to stand before thee all the days of thy life, as I was with Moses, so I will be with thee, I will not fail thee, nor forsake thee.
Sisters, Joshua, they never mentioned, they're mentioned, all those things are connected. The messenger of the covenant, who they say, ain't no messenger of the covenant, right? The covenant, they said, we ain't going nowhere. And then the identity, ain't no Joshua, here's it. Is that a coincidence? So who's wrong here? Who's wrong here? And the thing is, it can't be Farrakhan because somebody forsake his ass. Somebody wasn't with him. Who's with him when they blew his ass up with that, with them Asian pallets? Curse with a curse, like says Malachi, for robbing the nation. Let's move on, brothers and sisters.
Six. Be strong and of a good courage, for unto this people shalt thou divide for an inheritance the land, which I swear unto their fathers to give them. 7. Only be thou strong and very courageous, that thou mayest observe to do according to all the law, which Moses my servant commanded thee, turn not from it to the right hand or to the left, that thou mayest prosper whithersoever thou goest. 8. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein, for then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. 9. Have not I commanded thee? Be strong and of a good courage, be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed, for the Lord thy God is with thee whithersoever thou goest.
Again, brothers and sisters, they don't sound like Farrakhan. He's in wheelchairs, put the shit in a bag. You can't reverse that. I blew his ass up, so who's with him then? Let's move on. Loving devils. That's not a lesson say. Said 100% wicked, they cannot be reformed. That's what FARRACON says. So is he in sync with God? Or does God need to be retaught by FARRACON? That's exactly what he did. They lured the nation. He robbed the nation, him and Wallace. Took off the money and left the police with nothing, empty-handed, after all the work we put in. Okay, let's get to the main message, brother. It says, I'm going to have to do this in 2 parts. Yeah, now. If I can get to it. And see, you got 2 paths here. See, the true Son of Man, we're going to get this thing about Thomas another time. You ever looked at Thomas up? Oh, that's interesting. Anyway, that was, move on. The thing is they had 2 paths. And see, the thing is, the Master of the Covenant, his job is to turn the light on, and so you can recognize the wolves, the sheep clothing from the wolves and the sheep. Right now, that's why it says, Master Muhammad says, I can't move now because they don't know the left hand from the right. If you understand that, that means they can't distinguish the demons from themselves, so they're all in confusion. They can't separate the chaff from the wheat. So that's me. Master of the Covenant had to do that. Jonah. So now I can't do it because they don't know their left from their right. It's actually said left, right, that's left hand, right hand. That they had that up because, they assume. But it actually, the little translation says they don't know left and right. They can't distinguish. And that's what the angel will do. The light that comes on is going to manifest. Everybody's going to manifest. The demons, the devils, the jinn, everybody. And then that's the separation. That's the great separation that's going to take place. That's why Moses says, those with the Lord come with me. He separated the Levites from those with FARRACON, with Aaron. So you got the 2 paths here. We've been on 2 paths all the time, but we didn't realize it because we thought it was all the same people. No, we're not. They're black-faced devils. Okay. And this is the path over here. Path of life. Path of FARRACON. Devils. Demons. Scientology. Take America. We want to get the hell out of here. Move on.
I believe that America can be beautiful. How can America be made beautiful? Now, family, listen. My brother Imam Wadakuddin and I have had disagreement. But his followers and mine have never given each other as much as a bloody nose. Because in spite of our differences, there's a deep love in us. We don't like the things about our nation that is not good, but I don't want to live anywhere else. I want America to be made right. I don't want to see America go the way of Rome and Babylon and Sodom and Gomorrah. But why won't she go that way? If the men of religion and the women of religion keep silent.
Hey, brothers and sisters, he's telling you, what path do you think he's going down? He wants to stay here. He goes totally against everything Master Muhammad taught, everything Elijah taught, said to get the hell out of here. Master Muhammad said he came to take us home. He says he wants to stay because he's one of them. How clear can it be? This is what the wheat, the chaff, we want you to keep up believing that crap. This light is going to come on, and then you're going to, this light is exposing them. See, the light is coming on now because it's exposing them. But it's going to be shining totally, completely bright in a minute. The light's on right now because it's exposing everybody. It doesn't be bright enough for you to see it yet, but you're going to see it in a minute. It's going to be blinding light. It's going to be so bright. But this is clear. I mean, this is clear information here. What path do you think he's following? Now look how he feel about you. Remember how I love the devil so much? But look how I feel about you. Watch this.
When the Muslims were alive, I'll say it again. When the Muslims were alive, you dead as hell now on both sides.
Yes, sir, brother Millie. Yes, we are. Yes, sir. That's real, brother Millie.
Both sides.
Wake us up, dear Apostle.
When we was alive, we set up schools.
That's right.
When we were alive, we had supermarkets.
That's right.
We owned buildings. We owned farmland. We were busy doing something, hiring our people. Well, I'm telling the Muslims, damn it, if you don't come alive, you will die like you are. And I will say, thank you, Allah, because if they're not doing nothing on top of the earth, let the worms eat their ass.
Let the worm eat their ass. Now, a couple of things here. First of all, he doesn't mention the fact that when they were alive, who killed them? Him and Wallace. They destroyed the neighborhoods. I was present. I was there in Chicago between 70 and 75 when all this was going down. Him and Wallace tore down the Nation of Islam, got rid of it, got rid of all the material. I was a foreman at Muhammad Street newspaper, night foreman. They went in and got all the papers, everything, old material, and burned it up. Got rid of the name of Nation of Islam, got rid of everything, got rid of all the infrastructure, got rid of all the buildings and stores and everything that Nation of Islam had. They got the money out of it and they shut it down. They got rid of the name. They started something called Balalians. This is a fact. So they once killed it. Second of all, we was alive when they was doing those things. You know what they was doing? Because they was led. It led them into doing those things. It's like you're saying, oh, when you was alive, man, you was able to travel from here to California. See? Because we had a leader that shows the way to California. But now you ain't going nowhere because you got a fucking blind ass leader can't lead you nowhere. He blamed Elijah for his malfunction. He's supposed to be leading to have that. That's why I don't have it. But he's gonna blame it. Oh, no, they don't have it because you didn't lead it. You wasn't leading them. Oh, why are you still here in New Jersey? Because you haven't led us to California. Oh, you're lost. You're stupid. Well, you're the leader, ain't you? They're following you, right? They're following him. So the point is, if they're his followers, that they ain't going no goddamn where, is because he ain't leading them no goddamn where. How complicated is that one? Let's move on. Both sides. See, he wants you to eat shit. Oh God, I pray a lot of worms eat your ass. But for Massa, oh, Massa, I want to have Massa. I love Massa. I want to stay here, Massa. I love licking Massa's ass. I love that. But I want to worm eat your ass, though. Massa got sweet ass. See, I love licking his ass. But you. It's clear, bro, sisters. It's so clear. Let's move on. And they're the buzzards. FARRACON did not protect the sheep. When the wolves came, FARRACON and Wallace took the money. FARRACON took off. It was gone. Gone. Therefore, left the sheep with nothing. He said someone went crazy, someone back to jail, someone on drugs or whatever. See, he's a coward. He's not only a thief, he's a coward and a liar. He's all of it. What'd you think? He's a demon, as far as the devil. Path of life or the path of death? Let me get to the main thing. I think I have to do this 2 parts, brothers and sisters. I want to show you this, and I'm going to close. This right here. Now, this is pressure. You see all these here, this pressure? I keep talking about the quality of pressure. Well, power is also pressure. Greater pressure comes lesser pressure. Greater power comes lesser power. Discipline times energy equals power. Power is also pressure, right? Okay. So the thing is, but you get confused when you're on the emotional level. You get confused on what's going on because you can be tricked. They've tricked you. That's why the Bible says in Christ also, nothing will happen to you if you obey the law. You have a discipline. It says nothing can harm you because you don't understand. Because, man, they got atomic bombs, man. They got bazookas, man. They got chemical weapons, man. So that's where you see it. But you don't understand. It's a quality. See, watch this. Here. The pressure remains the same. It's just the quality of it. It's like, I got $1 million. I got $10,000, right? And you got $10,000. I take $10,000, right? And turn it into diamonds. I still only got $10,000. It just looks like diamonds now. Nothing changed. Only thing is the quality of the $10,000 is still worth $10,000. $1 million ship farm is equal to a $1 million gold mine. So the point is, they changed this quality pressure, but still it has no more power than it had before. It had no more power than it had before. Same thing here. Same thing here. But you're confused on this. And the Bible tells you, do not count numbers when you're in war. The Quran even tells you that. It says, if you firm, one overcome 1,000. Because you don't understand this principle. You understand? So they confuse you. America, they got all this. Remember they got all this here? What did that do? Had that helped them in Afghanistan? Helped them in Vietnam? Because it was about power, not quality of power. Power. And they didn't have enough power to overcome Vietnam, and Vietnamese didn't have all this quality. But they had pressure. Afghanistan didn't have all this quality. They had discipline. The Vietnamese had discipline. Well, how you know? Because they kept fighting. They wouldn't stop. They weren't deterred. All they had was discipline. You understand? All the Afghans had was discipline. They're Islam. All they had was Vietnamese have discipline. So how come this power, how come all this quality wasn't able to defeat them? Because it's just the quality of their power. It's not how much power they have, it's the quality of it. Let's move on, brothers and sisters. And right now, angel power. Angel gives you greater, because it gives you greater discipline. And so therefore, when you get the 5 pillars, that means you're going to have more power than these, and nothing they can do to touch you, nothing. They come at you, it won't work, nothing will work. It didn't work in Afghanistan, did it? It didn't work in Vietnam, did it? These clowns out there, or they talk all that shit, they don't know what the hell they talk about. Or they got a problem coming. Let me say this one last thing, I'm different on clothes, brothers and sisters. Here's so-called dumbass son of man. He got an American flag up there. He's supposed to be coming to take down Babylon. Right? And then he got some. See, he don't know how stupid he is. Because once you understand the Injil, you understand Sunnism is the Jinn. So he's a single with a Jinn. Right? And he's a with Gog. But he's a son of man. Just think what's going to happen to this fool in a minute. See? And he claiming these had nothing to do with it. Got a big old American flag right there. He worked for the devil, doesn't matter. He's part of the confusion. He might as well work for the devil, because the point, we don't care. If you resist to this, you're the confusion. And we don't care who you're working for. We don't get into that kind of detail. We don't have to. That's just quality of your pressure. We come to crush anything less and less pressure. So we don't give a damn about the quality of it. Oh, man. Look, see, dumbass, see? Look at him. What a fool. See how much you be laughing a few more days. Oh, he's going to backtrack big time. He's going to have to be full of tears, but nobody's going to hear. Oh, let me say one more thing before I close, brothers and sisters. I said, God told him to shut up. Well, if Ishmael's his mouthpiece, right? His spokesman, is he supposed to shut up too? Because he's still speaking, I mean, Farrakhan's still speaking through him, ain't it? So if you got a ventriloquist, he got a dummy, and he tells the ventriloquist to shut up, the dummy's supposed to stop moving too, right? You see? It's all the bullshit. So Ishmael should be shut up, because he speaks for Farrakhan, right? So Farrakhan really didn't, he's not obeying God, is he? He's obeying him, the God as well, Satan. They told him to shut the fuck up. See? But they're doing their thing right now. They're closing in. And he don't know anything anyway, so I don't know why you tell him to shut up. But they don't know anything anyway. But they did. Okay? All these confused ass kissers. Dr. Wesley, what a dumbass. Come out. The problem is we don't get enough sun. Well, then that's the case. What's happening to people in Africa? They're getting plenty of sun. What's their problem? We're not getting enough sun. And if that's the case, we should be getting out of here, right? But we ain't going nowhere. Oh, dumbass people in this. Oh, man. Let's move on. Ben X. Another clown. He want to be the big man. He don't know shit. I bet you could tell you how to calculate acceleration, or what a vector is, or what pressure is. I bet you could explain pressure. I bet money on that. There's a dumbass out there running his mouth. He don't understand. If you're selling shit, you're going to have to eat shit. And they sell a lot of shit. They got a lot of shit to eat. I'm talking about literally. You go watch. You see. Unless you're eating it with them. These clowns, whoever they are. This is a real circus here. These are real clowns. Oh, Hebrew Israel. That's another group. That same as group I just showed you. That's not all together. And this fool. See? And so I knew him. I just couldn't remember the context because he used to drive one of the trucks when he was coming in. I remember I told a foreman, Palmer's newspaper, and I was a nice foreman, so I'd be in there in the mornings. My shift was over in the mornings when he come rolling in to pick up the papers. Right? But it's been a long time ago, so I don't remember all but I remember seeing him. I mean, I was talking to him a couple of times, but he ripped off a lot of people and died of COVID. But he was a son of man too. He was right. And this clown here, Eric. I got lighter. Well, tell us what's happening right now, Eric. What's going on right now, Eric? Don't call fool. They don't understand. They're part of the confusion. And they're going to go down. The most grievous chastisement, because it tells you clearly the message of the covenant. Oh, ain't nobody after the messenger. Then why are you representing the messenger which says the messenger of the covenant is the one you're supposed to be seeking? Is that what it says? Is that what you're supposed to be seeking? So why are you representing the messenger which says the messenger of the covenant is the one you're supposed to be seeking? Let me ask. What a fool. What's coming? Oh, and this dude, he's a crybaby. Oh, every time he sees me crying about something, he said he's a son of man too. Everybody's a son of man out there. And they don't even know what a son of man is. He comes from Solomon, Su Oman. Whoa, bro, I'm fired up. I'm really tired. I'm really burnt out. I am. I had to get that adrenaline going. Because I know the war's any day now. And when it happens, all hell will break loose immediately. Or in this cloud. Yeah, he's that's why he had a red nose on. Certified clown. He's Melchizedek. He don't even know who Melchizedek is. It ain't him. And he is a cast of characters. Right? Some of these died of COVID. This one right here, the female, they hiding the reason why she died. Because they don't want to know that she took the shot. But she telling everybody, you ain't supposed to do it. Okay? This clown over here, come on, a couple of things so I can get myself out of the way here. This clown over here, that's his grandson, Elijah's grandson. Total idiot. Right? And this fool over here, Nuri. I went to meet him one time. He's telling everybody, hey, you know how giraffes got a long neck? It's deep. He gonna get deep, man. He gonna explain how giraffes got a long neck. So he says, well, one day, 1,000,000 years ago, there was this giraffe. He saw some fruit somewhere on top of a tree. It was way up there. So obviously he had a short neck at that time, right? So he wanted that really bad. So he passed that desire on to his descendants. Son, next son, next son. After 1,000,000 years, the neck was long enough to get up there. And that's not so bullshit, boy. He had me rolling. And he still with a straight face. That boy's a stone cold idiot. So the giraffe started with a short neck, but because they had a desire to get up there, and after millions of years, he passed that desire on. So the next one said, yeah, I'm going to be like daddy. I want that fruit up there. But I can't get it. I'm passing on to my son, daddy's grandson. And make sure he get the message too. And I'm a little taller than I was before. My neck a little longer. And if I keep on, I'm gonna keep on, man, because I'm gonna let you know. And when I let you know, man, when I get there, but 1,000,000 years from now, I'm ready to get that. Oh, goddamn, I got there, but the fruit is rotten. It's rotten. It's rotten now. And the tree is dead. So damn, I did 1,000,000 years of work for nothing. Damn, a goddamn idiot. That's the dumb shit they say. With a straight face. Stone cold idiots over here. This damn Ishmael, that boy, he's a certified idiot. So I just show you what the clown masters is. If that's the circus, that tells you a lot about the clown master. FARRACON. The total idiot over here. You didn't see these people talking, we can prove everything we say. To who? You compare it to a fucking idiot. Pathetic. There's some sick people over there, boy. Ooh. And FARRACON, boy, he's as sick as all of them. Remember, they represent him. Yeah. Cast the characters. He look like a clown, don't he? It's sad. But door's about to close on him. Most grievous chastisement. They think this is a joke. It ain't no joke. See if they're laughing then. Oh boy. Mr. FARRACON, stop tormenting me. Louis Eugene Grounds, NY backwards. The boy's a stone cold idiot. He's a demon. He's stupid. FARRACON is stupid as hell. You don't know shit. First, say Master Muhammad is God, and then God, when he prays, well, if Master Muhammad prays, who's he praying to? We should be praying to the one he's praying to. But you can't worship flesh. But you say Master Muhammad is God. Well, no. But we can't be the spirit spooks. So if he praying, you can't worship flesh according to him. That means what he's praying to is not flesh. But he tell you we can't play the spooks of spirit. They so called stupid over there. Beyond belief. Master Muhammad prays. Who is praying to then? And then plus, we don't make each other. God made us in the womb. Well, last time I looked at the microscope, I see God waving back up. And he says God's a man, so I guess Master Muhammad is doing all the women, right? So we must all his son. Oh, you my daddy? Master Muhammad, you my daddy? Well, that's according to him. That's according to him. God made us all in the womb. You see, no, my father didn't do it. See, they got to call FARRACON because father's a devil. He admits his father's a devil. It means he's a demon. He's a devil himself. He go by nature. But what about the animals? He's doing the animals too? Who gives their babies? What we get hold of those folks for? Okay, explain that. You can prove this? Dr. Wesley? You over there? So if you don't believe it, that means you're goddamn hypocrite, ain't it? Okay, I'm going to close here, brothers and sisters. I'm going to go. Let me play this out and then we'll go.
One. Now after the death of Moses the servant of the Lord it came to pass, that the Lord spake unto Joshua the son of Nun, Moses' minister, saying, To Moses my servant is dead, now therefore arise, go over this Jordan, thou, and all this people, unto the land which I do give to them, even to the children of Israel. 3. Every place that the sole of your foot shall tread upon, that have I given unto you, as I said unto Moses. 4. From the wilderness and this Lebanon even unto the great river, the river Euphrates, all the land of the Hittites, and unto the great sea toward the going down of the sun, shall be your coast. 5. There shall not any man be able to stand before thee all the days of thy life, as I was with Moses, so I will be with thee, I will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. Six. Be strong and of a good courage, for unto this people shalt thou divide for an inheritance the land, which I swear unto their fathers to give them. 7. Only be thou strong and very courageous, that thou mayest observe to do according to all the law, which Moses my servant commanded thee, turn not from it to the right hand or to the left, that thou mayest prosper whithersoever thou goest. 8. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein, for then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. 9. Have not I commanded thee? Be strong and of a good courage, be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed, for the Lord thy God is with thee whithersoever thou goest. One. And it shall come to pass, when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse, which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations, whither the Lord thy God hath driven thee, to and shalt return unto the Lord thy God, and shalt obey his voice according to all that I command thee this day, thou and thy children, with all thine heart, and with all thy soul. 3. That then the Lord thy God will turn thy captivity, and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations, whither the Lord thy God hath scattered thee. For if any of thine be driven out unto the outmost parts of heaven, from thence will the Lord thy God gather thee, and from thence will he fetch thee. 5. And the Lord thy God will bring thee into the land which thy fathers possessed, and thou shalt possess it, and he will do thee good, and multiply thee above thy fathers.
Hey, mom, brothers and sisters, watch this and I'm closing. This is what's going to happen to them. Do unto them double as it done to you. So all that pent up, we told to submit. So we submit. So all that hell was pent up on us. That's the condition we're in right now. Because the victims of all that hell, the Holocaust, they stored up. So now we're about to release it. See, that's why it says we're born in a day and they're destroyed in a day. Because we release it. All that shit they put on us 500, 400 years will come on them in one day. And that's why once we drop it, that load off on them, then we're back. Right? Turn back to our normal state. You understand that, brothers and sisters? That's what Farrakhan tried to turn. Instead of turning it, their enemy, no, we the problem. Right? Elijah said, it's nice. He said, they're the enemy. No, they're the enemy. We love them. It's not a problem. Scientology. See? Turn all that one pin of energy back on ourselves. No. That's what Suleiman comes and says, no. Turn it back on them. Do unto them that was done to you. What's going on, brothers and sisters? Turn it back on our enemies who gave it to us. Do what them devils have done to you. Farrakhan said, no. Turn back on yourself. You're a problem. We love white folks. Don't do it to them, nothing to them. Don't judge them. We don't see nothing happen to them. See what I'm saying? That's what he's trying to do. Get you to destroy yourself. That's why the man was beating himself in Mark. He beat his own self. Because of Legion, Louis Eugene Grounds, NOI backwards. And Suleiman comes, says, oh, they're trying to contain all this pressure in ourselves instead of turning back on the people that's been wounding us, beating us for 20 years, afflicting us. There you go. It's about to happen, brothers and sisters. Okay, I'm going to leave it there, brothers. Assalamu alaikum. I have part 2 here.
We have a lot of that going on, but we're taking care of our farmers. We can't let our farmers not have anybody, these people, you can't replace them very easily. People that live in the inner city are not doing that work. They're just not doing that work. And they've tried, we've tried, everybody tried. They don't do it. These people do it naturally. I said, what happens if they get it to a farmer the other day? What happens if they get a bad back? He said, they don't get a bad back, sir, because if they get a bad back, they die. I said, that's interesting, isn't it?
Well, you heard that. Donald Trump is a believer in eugenics. He believes that white people are the superior race. And inner city is code for black people. And he believes black people cannot now work on the farms. I guess they're not good enough for that. So Hispanic people can do it because they have the backs for it. This is what this man is saying out loud in interviews. He is a racist. It's been proven time and time again. The man had Mein Kampf on his bedside table that he would read at night. Enough to let you know where he stands on that. Just more outrageous, racist things from Donald Trump. They want to arrest those who can do the farm work, well, until their backs give out. And then he'll probably ship them to El Salvador or some other country. Just more vile statements from the president and let you know where he stands.
When they were arresting people for praying outside of abortion clinics. I mean, I do think the UK, and I say this as, someone who is half English, I think it's like reached or it is quickly reaching a point where democratic reforms are going to be pretty tough because of the demographic change. And that, of course, the point of importing all these people is to overwhelm the people who live there who disapprove of the program. So you don't have to care what they think because you just bring in new people and their will becomes like all that matters. And so I don't think you're going to fix these things through elections at some point, probably pretty soon. And I just worry a place like the UK, Canada is another, a bunch of different countries in the West are at the point where they're literally revolutionary. They are poised for revolution. And as someone who really doesn't support revolution and hates violence and hates civil war above all, I'm worried about that. I mean, I don't see how this is fixed. Starmer, who's, he's just an instrument of larger forces, but he's a poisonous character, obviously, who's really hurt your country. He's in there for, 4 more years? And so you wonder, people are going to start to get really radical in a scary way. I think this is going to happen. And the people in charge don't seem to care.
Well, you're already seeing it. You are seeing the anger beginning to manifest itself, and I completely understand the anger. I don't like you. I abhor any form of violence, but I do understand the anger when you have, Keir Starmer campaigned on, I'm going to smash the gangs that allow these little boats to come over the channel, delivering tens of thousands of people illegally into the country, and they then get put into these so-called asylum hotels where they're given a pretty good lifestyle, certainly a far better lifestyle than many people really struggling at the moment in the UK. And of course, far from smashing the gangs, it turned out yesterday that he's smashing new records for the number of people coming in illegally on the boats. Of course. It's out of control. And the British public are reaching a point of saying, we are done with people coming in illegally and being treated better in a more comfortable and more luxurious manner than we treat our own people.
Well, the whole point is to humiliate and degrade the indigenous population of the British Isles, the white population. I mean, that's the whole point. And are they really going to do something about it? What would that be exactly?
Public are reaching a point of saying, we are done with people coming in illegally and being treated better in a more comfortable and more luxurious manner than we treat our own people.
Well, the whole point is to humiliate and degrade the indigenous population of the British Isles, the white population. I mean, that's the whole point. And are they really going to do something about it? What would that be exactly? You'd really have to force a lot of people to go back to their countries of origin, millions of people, and you need to do it really soon. And are they actually willing to do that? I don't know, but these are existential questions that we have been browbeat into ignoring for decades. But the question is is Ireland Ireland? If it's majority non-Irish, oh, shut up, they're Irish. No, they're actually not Irish. Same with the UK, same with England, Scotland, Wales. It's all changing so fast. Nothing like this has ever happened in all of history, except when, say, the Mongols swept across the steppe and raped everybody. That was true demographic change on this scale. But even that wasn't as profound as what we're seeing in every white country around the world. I would say the West, but Australia and New Zealand also. So, what is that? Now, my brain is not big enough to understand what that is. I have a lot of theories about it, but I don't know if they're true. All I know is what the numbers are, and that's real, and no one feels that he can say it. Everyone's like, oh, well, if that were happening in China or India or Malaysia or Senegal, it doesn't matter. You'd be like, what the hell is that? The population's totally different. Look at graduation. Pick, King's College Law School, and look at the graduation picture for the last 30 years. Who's in it? Just let your eyes tell you the truth for once. This is a total change in population. Is it better? Is it worse? Can't have that conversation. Who's pushing this? Does the population want it? The population clearly doesn't want it. There's no polling that's meaningful on the subject. There's no referendum on it. You don't get to decide. You've got no voice in it, other than you get to go to jail if you complain loudly enough about it. What is this? I think it's the biggest and darkest thing that has happened in the last 1,000 years, for sure. And I think it's leading somewhere really, really bad. It's not happening by accident, that's obvious, because it's only happening in white countries.
I think that...
Oh, shut up, white supremacist. Well, in fact, I'm not a white supremacist. I'm just noticing what the hell's going on.
I think most people I've spoken to about this in the UK, most people have always viewed the UK to be a very tolerant, multicultural, cosmopolitan place to live. That's why so many people want to come here. And people have no problem with that. And it's been very successful for a long period of time.
But it's multicultural multicultural? What does that mean?
We have a lot of different people from different countries, different cultures, and it's always worked historically.
So is Sharia law in a multicultural country? Is Sharia law? What does that mean?
We have a lot of different people from different countries, different cultures, and it's always worked historically.
So is Sharia law in a multicultural country? Is Sharia law every bit as valid as English common?
No, people don't want Sharia law here. No.
A lot of people do. Wait, hold on. I don't know what you mean. Multiculturalism itself is the lie designed to subvert a society. No, a society has a culture. You can argue about what it is or ought to be. It's not necessarily the same as race. It's connected to race, but it's not the same. People from different races can buy into your culture. That was kind of the beauty of the West. But a multicultural society is not sustainable. There's never been such a
society
thing.
Is
one
about
culture will dominate.
Hang on, Tucker. Surely the United States of America, given the very way it was created, is the epitome of a multicultural society. And my point I was going to make to you was...
It's absolutely not. No. It's a multiracial society.
Yeah.
Though it was not actually a multiracial society up until pretty recent. It was just like 90% white for most of its existence, but whatever. But you did have different peoples, you had different religions. That was all totally fine, but there was one culture, as American culture. There's no such thing as a multicultural society. It's not sustainable. One culture will overwhelm the other. Again, it's not the same as race. It's not identical to race. It's connected, but it's not the same. But multiculturalism is by definition insane. No, it's never happened. It never will happen. One culture will predominate. It will impose its values on everybody else. I mean, the gay thing, which was not a thing 40 years ago, gay was a slur, all of a sudden becomes multicultural there. There's one culture, and it's required. And that's true in every society because a culture is a commonly agreed upon set of values, which in their firmest form are called laws.
But those values can evolve.
This is true everywhere.
But those values can evolve.
Of course they evolve, but the's only one set of them. It's not multicultural. There's one set.
Yeah,
you worship one God in every society. Sorry.
But your country's values were established by the United States Constitution, and that's had, 26, 27 amendments, right? So your own values, as determined by the founding fathers, they have evolved and been changed to accommodate changing time.
There's no doubt. Look, I'm not even arguing against change. That's natural. It's natural that people's views evolve.
So the culture changes.
Once you start rejecting the laws of nature, then you're doomed. But let me just say, no, of course, societies change. I get it. All I'm saying, I'm making a very discrete, specific point, which is multiculturalism as an idea is laughably stupid. It has never worked. We never had it anywhere, and it never will exist because it's contrary to human nature. One culture, one way of looking at things, one worldview will predominate, and it will punish all who deviate from it. That is the nature of societies. So if you're telling me it's
determined by the founding fathers, they have evolved and been changed to accommodate changing time.
There's no doubt. Look, I'm not even arguing against change. That's natural. It's natural that people's views evolve.
So those values can evolve.
There's one culture, and it's required. And that's true in every society because a culture is a commonly agreed upon set of values, which in their firmest form are called laws.
But those values can evolve.
This is true everywhere.
But those values can evolve.
Of course they evolve, but there's only one set of them. It's not multicultural. There's one set. You worship one God in every society. Sorry.
But your country's values were established by the United States Constitution, and that's had 26, 27 amendments, right? So your own values, as determined by the founding fathers, they have evolved and been changed to accommodate changing time.
There's no doubt. Look, I'm not even arguing against change. Natural that people's views evolve.
So the culture changes.
Once you start rejecting the laws of nature, then you're doomed. But let me just say, no, of course, societies change. I get it. All I'm saying, I'm making a very discrete, specific point, which is multiculturalism as an idea is laughably stupid. It has never worked. We never had it anywhere, and it never will exist because it's contrary to human nature. One culture, one way of looking at things, one worldview will predominate, and it will punish all who deviate from it. That is the nature of societies. So if you're telling me it's multicultural, we can all live and have radically different values, that's just not true. It's never been true. It never will be true. So you're having one culture, one worldview predominate over another and dominate and suppress all dissent. Like, that's just what it is, dude.
But
Let's be honest.
I would point to the United States of America and the United Kingdom as two shining examples, albeit not completely without their flaws, but shining examples of places that are deemed by the rest of the certainly feel that about my country.
Well, I certainly think that inherent in Christianity is the notion of tolerance, and that draws from a core Christian concept, which is free will. You cannot force someone to convert. There's never been conversion by the sword in Christianity. People decide to believe in it. And so that is central to the religion, therefore it's been central to the society. Western civilization is Christian civilization. And so we call that tolerance. It's a respect for your inherent God-given right to make a choice about what you believe. Okay, so of course, that's always been a feature. My only point is, a society has a commonly agreed upon set of beliefs, rules, and laws that are the definition of the society itself. That's what a society is. So you can't have competing. You can't have, gay world and Sharia world living co-equally in a society. That does not happen. It will never happen. You have to pick one. Are we the Sharia society? Are we the party time gay rights society? Like, which one? And you can't face that reality. So you're just sort of snoozing along until the inevitable point where you're going to wake up and be like, my values have no bearing on what our society is anymore, because we've been invaded by other people with a totally different worldview, and they're now in charge. And that day is coming very soon for your country, and maybe it'll improve it. I don't think the UK could be a lot worse than it already is. It's this kind of disgusting, sad, self-hating, suicidal island that was once great. It kills me to see it as a half-English person, but that day is coming. It will change. You will either decide to be Western or Eastern. That's a choice that we're all going to face. I don't want to face that choice, but it's being foisted upon us by the architect. That's a choice that we're all going to face. Suicidal island that was once great. It kills me to see it as a half-English. That day is coming. It will change. You will either decide to be Western or Eastern. That's a choice that we're all going to face. I don't want to face that choice, but it's being foisted upon us by the architects of mass migration. Sorry.
I would question your characterization as my country as a sad, disgusting, what's the rest of it, suicidal nation. I feel none of those things. I feel very happy to be in the United Kingdom, and I feel that there are lots of very happy.
Our system, the Western system, which is very distinct from the Eastern system, very distinct, and it's distinct on this one precise point, we believe and have always believed since this country was founded, since your country became, not a pure monarchy, but even when it was a pure monarchy, the belief in the West, because of Christianity, was the worst thing you can do is punish the innocent. That's the worst thing you can do. That's worse than not punishing the guilty. And we often said that to each other. We no longer say that because there is a pretty concerted effort to blur the meaning of these terms. But I'm not going to be deterred from defining words precisely. Terror is murdering people, killing people, punishing people who committed no crime. Period.
So when the Israeli government says it has repeatedly that even though over 20,000 completely innocent children are believed to have died in their response to what Hamas did on October the 7th at the hands of the IDF, there are many on the pro-Palestinian side who say that Israel is behaving like terrorists too in the way that they have gone about conducting this war. Would you go as far as to say that?
One of the things that I really object to now is this relentless focus on Israel, which, by the way, is a foreign country that I have nothing to do with.
We've done this before. Now, maybe today things are different, and we will end up living in a nation that is sharply divided and may ultimately produce something else. But I'm an American. I love my country. I want to see it stay together. I'm interested in social cohesion, which means that I think our laws, customs, and culture have to be dominant. We can accept some diversity on the edges, but not fundamental division. I think we're in a state of fundamental division. So when I bring up Sharia law, I've sat in many discussions with many people that said, well, I don't care what people look like, but I do care about Sharia law, and I don't want that practiced anywhere near my family or in my country. And that's something you should be aware of. So the notion that someone can come here and say, well, that's part of my religion and we're going to abide by Sharia law, they're going to find serious resistance and opposition in the country. That's
and as I clarified,
it's because it matters. It's this thing we call societal cohesion. Nations do not exist on their own. They have a core population. Our core population from the very beginning was always at least 80% European and Christian and about 15 to 20% African. But when you start bringing in huge numbers, millions, who are fundamentally different from the core population, you are going to get violence, anger, and conflict. How many times have you heard people say, if you bring people in from the developing world, what do you get? The developing world. And now we've got that. You can't bring in hundreds of thousands of people from Somalia, plant them, of all places, in Minnesota, and then be shocked that, no, they're not Americans. They're not really interested in being Americans. They're foreigners living on American soil. Nobody wants to say that publicly. If you do, oh, well, you're a racist. Well, you know, the world is full of racists. The real war that's going to decide our fate is not going to be fought anywhere overseas. It's going to be fought right here inside the United States. Are we going to survive as a republic, as an English-speaking republic that rests on the foundations of Western civilization? Or are we going to become something else?
One point that is
Constitution was completed in 1789. I think we had 5 million people living in the 13 British colonies. We were 90% white, that is excluding the Africans that were in the country who had been brought here as slaves. But we were 90% white. We were 90% Protestant. And this may be hard for you to believe, but the people that wrote that were trying to protect all of the Protestant sects from a state church on the model of the Church of England and the Roman Catholic Church. That's one of the reasons it was almost 100 years or more after that before people began to finally accept Catholicism as a religion, because it was viewed as political power. My point to you is the Constitution is outdated. The way we are governed is outdated. It has to be re-examined. Nobody in 1789 imagined that anybody would come to the United States except another lunatic, religious fanatical Protestant who hated the Church of England. That's what people feared. That's what they thought of. The Constitution that we have does many good things, but I would argue that the Bill of Rights is ultimately more important. The Bill of Rights is vital and essential, and that needs to be defended. But the Constitution and the way we govern and the things that we're doing, it's out of date. It doesn't fit our needs. And that's back to my comment on something given has no value. You have to earn it. And we haven't made anybody earn their place in this country. I'm talking about people like me that have been here forever. My first ancestor stepped off the boat in 1681. So we've got to get back to some notion of national service, because national service promotes national integration. It addresses some of these problems that you're discussing. Now, I know that you may not want to conform and may not want to be as I am, but I'm an American and nobody questions that. Nobody ever will. If you don't want to stand out and be questioned, then I suggest that you change your appearance, because I don't think it's life or death for you to wear what you wear.
I think this conversation,
it's not fine, because it's leading to violence that could have otherwise been avoided. You see, every great nation, every large nation can always accept some number of people into its ranks that are different from them. It's always been the case. But if you suddenly import millions, which is what's happened here and happened in Europe, then you threaten the core gene pool. What I'm trying to tell you is there's a problem. And we can all pretend that there isn't, and you can insist there isn't, but that's the view. And I think it's incumbent upon all of us to address it truthfully and openly. Stop pretending it's not a problem. It's a problem.
I mean, what's also a problem is white supremacy, and that's
No, because you're saying you're different, you're going to remain different, and you don't think that if that's not compatible with being an American, then the hell with it. That's what you're going to do.
Well, then what do you make then of, white American people who convert, let's say, to Islam and choose to cover? Are they not American anymore?
Listen, if they want to do that, that's obviously their business. I don't know how many are out there that do that. I think again, it's ill-advised. I think you have to hold the society together. There has to be an agreement on certain things, customs, culture, way of life. And unfortunately, if you're going to practice rigidly a brand of Islam that demands certain things, and this is why I asked right off the bat, do you support Sharia law?
I'm a Muslim. What being a Muslim means is I follow the guidelines of my religion, which is a peaceful.
Does your religion dictate to you Sharia law?
My religion dictates to me to be a good human being, to be good to my neighbors, to
that the most powerful force in today's Republican Party is represented by what Charlie Kirk said. It is this drive to make America a white Christian nation. I got to tell you, this is what they say privately. This is now what they say publicly. This is what Charlie Kirk said publicly.
And Joe, again, one of the reasons I wanted to have you on, because you know these people very, very well. Yeah. You said it yourself. You were one of the strongest voices. You were one of the folks who understood the incendiary language when you were in Congress, when you had your radio show, and how people loved when you did it. And then when you chose to apologize for that and turn away from it, oh my God, they literally have just tried to destroy you because of that.
Yeah, again, you know the deal, Roland, right? I came out publicly against Trump 7 years. For 7 years, I put up with death threats on a regular basis. Nobody is welcome in that party unless you bow down to what this force is, this MAGA force. And again, look, there have been some people on the left who've celebrated Charlie Kirk's murder. Shame on them, be better people. But this is much worse, Roland, what my former friends are doing on the right, because they are turning this into a holy war. When you say we declare war on the left because of what some 22-year-old young guy did in Utah, and then you declare war on the whole left, that's a lot worse than celebrating Charlie Kirk's murder, because that's dishonest, but that's also inciting hate and violence. And Roland, look, Trump's an idiot. So yeah, Trump says the left, the problem in the country is the left. J.D. Vance is not an idiot. What did J.D. Vance say today, right? He was subbing for Charlie Kirk on his radio show, and he spent the entire show going after the left, going after them, they, them. Man, Democrats need to wake up, Roland. This is a really serious deal by my former colleagues. The stuff that I hear privately from them right now, Roland, for the last 5 days, I mean, they want to go to war. This is a holy war.
Oh, it absolutely is. And what really jumps out at me on this very thing here, Joe, and I've been saying this, I played the speech 2 weeks ago that mainstream media just ignored, of Missouri Senator Eric Schmidt, who gave a speech at NatCon, Peter Thiel's group, where he literally gave a white nationalist speech, where he said our ancestors fought for this country to be ours and no one else. He was talking about white people. He was basically saying if you are black, Latino, Asian American, or even Native American, America is not for you. And folks just ignored it. And so people need to understand, again, what they're saying, why they're saying it. And yes, there are many evangelicals, any very conservative white Christians who are pushing this as well. And you nailed it. They want a holy war. They want a race war. They want this to be a white country. It is clear as day.
And Roland, really important point. Charlie Kirk at only 31, the impact he had, because he was one of the most successful pushers of this white Christian nationalistic idea. And so I think that's why all of his defenders are out there so strenuously denying he said anything divisive, because they know if you really go through Charlie Kirk's public record, everything he said about people of color and black women and Muslims and gays and transgenders, if people took the time to go through all of that, and that was put out for average people to see, they'd be blown away by it. That's why his defenders are like supercharged right now. They don't want that record to be seen.
Today, you mentioned, and I mentioned as well, Vice President J.D. Vance sitting in to do his show. And listen to this man just blatantly lie, Joe. Play it.
I read a story in The Nation magazine about my dear friend, Charlie Kirk. Now, The Nation isn't a fringe blog. It's a well-funded, well-respected magazine whose publishing history goes back to the American Civil War. George Soros's Open Society Foundation funds this magazine, as does the Ford Foundation and many other wealthy titans of the American progressive movement. The writer accuses Charlie of saying, and I quote, "Black women do not have brain processing power to be taken seriously." But if you go and watch the clip, the very clip she links to, you realize he never said anything like that. He never uttered those words. He made an argument against affirmative action as a policy. He criticized a specific Supreme Court justice as an individual. He never said anything about black women as a group. He made an argument for judging people of all races and backgrounds by their own individual merits.
Bullshit.
Okay, Joe, this is actually what he said.
No, Roland, that's utter bullshit.
In fact, you know, if we would have said 3 weeks ago, Blake, if we would have said that Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called the racist. But now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. Play cut 52.
But I rise today as a clear recipient of affirmative action, and particularly in higher education. I may have been admitted on affirmative action, both in terms of being a woman and a woman of color.
All right, Joe. He literally said it. Not only that, Vance lied. Soros does not fund the nation. So he sat there and flat out lied.
And Roland, remind me, What's J.D. Vance's job? He's the vice president, and yet he had time today to do a radio show for a former right-wing podcaster. I mean, look what they're not even rolling. They're not even subtle about it. What this White House is doing. They believe, man, the path to victory is fear, hate, and division. And that's what they're putting out there. That was Charlie Kirk literally going after 4 accomplished black women by saying they didn't have the brain power to get where they got. This is what he believed. And this is what MAGA believes. And that, again, Roland, broken record, that's why Charlie Kirk was so damn successful, why he had such a big audience.
Yeah, and not only that, you take Nick Fuentes, who's to the right of Charlie Kirk. The night of or the day after Kirk was shot and killed, Fuentes had 200,000 people watching him live. And so what you have this fervor. And so when I listen to Trump and Vance and all of these people talk about, how the left, they're indoctrinating. No, and you know this very well, the indoctrination. We've had people who formerly with Turning Point USA put out videos talking about how it was really this cult-like figure, this messianic figure, as they sort of set Kirk up as, and how they want them to follow that. And so that's what's going on here. These people are not trying to have open dialogue. And not only that, Joe, you take Trump, okay? Trump was very clear in saying he was not going to call Governor Tim Walz after those 4 folks were shot in Minnesota. 2 were killed, including former Speaker of the House and her husband. Now today he's saying, he never even heard of Melissa Hortman, and if the governor had asked him, he would have, of course, lowered the flags to have staff. I'm sorry, he's also lying. He knew about her. He knew about the shooting, but he was so arrogant that he said, 2 Democrats, a Democrat Speaker of the House shot and killed. Yeah, I don't care, but lower the flags to have staff with Charlie Kirk. Flies body on Air Force 2. Do a memorial service at the Kennedy Center. Do another one at the Arizona Cardinal Stadium. Give him the Medal of Freedom. And I'm telling you, they're going to give him a state funeral. That's what you're seeing right now. And then you got Peter Hegseth going after members of the military who said anything negative in the aftermath of his death. You've got Kirk supporters creating a database of people of every social media post, and then even Vance saying in the podcast, you call their employer. So the so-called free speech people all of a sudden are saying, if you say anything negative about Charlie Kirk after what took place last week, we're going to come after you, come after your job. I thought they hated cancel culture, Joe.
Yeah. Roland, I remember back in my right-wing radio days, I would come on every day, and there was always some story about some leftist group on a college campus that couldn't handle speech that made them uncomfortable
to say.
Roland, this is scary, and you and I are old enough, man, to remember huge figures in American history who were gunned down, struck down, military leaders, civil rights leaders. We are treating this 31-year-old podcaster, MAGA influencer, like he's Jesus Christ. So I come from the right. Why are my old colleagues and friends on the right doing this, Roland? Because the right wants a religious war. Let's just call it. They want a civil war. They want a holy war. That's why they're putting him up to be some Jesus-like martyr.
Absolutely. I mean, Glenn Beck literally came out and said he was a civil rights leader. Oh, my God, stop it. Stop it. I've seen people say, I've seen a lot of these videos, I'm leaving my church because my pastor did not mention him. This was a Christian warrior. And let's just be clear. You said it, white Christian nationalists. It's slaveholder religion. We heard a lot of this stuff during slavery, during Jim Crow, things along those lines. And this whole idea about, oh no, it was about debate. It was about, exchange of ideas. I mean, come on, let's just stop it. And so we see what's going on here. We see the games that are being played. And then what gets me, Joe, is this whole deal of, oh my God, the left, how they indoctrinated him and the accused killer going to a university. The dude was at a university for one semester, Joe. You're trying to tell me that one semester at a mostly white institution in Mormon, Utah, which is not a liberal bastion, somehow just radicalized him? I mean, it really is showing folks the hand they're trying to play.
Yeah, and I think even on top of that, Roland, I think it was like some technical school. So it wasn't some crazy liberal arts school for a semester. Look, cut through all the BS. The Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, has publicly said that America should be a white Christian country. This is what animates my former party. Roland, you know me, right? Tea Party Hellraiser. I don't come from the left. I left the Republican Party when the Republican Party became MAGA. And my fellow Democrats and folks on the left need to understand, now these people are on the right. Now this is MAGA. MAGA now are the snowflakes. MAGA, Roland, they now need their safe spaces. It's funny, but it's not funny. And you're right about J.D. Vance, man. He just flat out lied. I mean, the last 30-year history of political violence in this country, the vast majority of it is right-wing. It always has been. And they put out this lie that it's only on the left. It's not even, Roland, a both sides problem between the left and the right. There is political violence on the left, but the vast majority is on the right, and they know that, and they're lying because they're trying to inflame their base. And Roland, I hear from their base every day, and let me tell you something, they are inflamed. I mean, they are ready to march and grab their you-know-what. This is a scary time.
It is, and folks need to understand what is certainly at stake. Joe Walsh, I appreciate you joining us on the show.
History of the cross, known by their works. What's the history of the cross? 500-year history of the cross. Murder, rape, destruction, deception, enslavement, burning, terrorizing. To maintain a slavery system, you must terrorize the people 24/7. They terrorize people from Africa and America for 400 years. Constant terror, 24/7. Rape, murder. In the name of Jesus. This was Christians not Buddhists, not Hindus, Christians. Christians, in the name of Jesus, when they said Jesus cursed black people, they call them Ham, cursed them to be slaves and persecuted forever. In the name of Jesus, raped our women incessantly, pissed in our mouths, made us eat shit. And they took and tried to clean it up, I get. Well, not clean it up, but make it look more fashionable, I guess, by calling it chitlins. That's after slavery, of course, after so-called slavery. Because what was endured was not slavery. Look up slavery. Look up slavery. It does include murder, rape, terror. This is a Holocaust. And then now they try to downplay it. Oh, that was 40 years ago. No, it wasn't 40 years ago. I don't care if it was a million years ago. It was 40 years ago. It lasts for 400 years. As they're doing today. They took everything away from the slaves. Everything. Their name, their culture, their families, their religion, their minds, everything. Fed their children to alligators as alligator bait. And then they talk about what's going on in Gaza when they did 1,000 times worse. What's going over in Gaza now is simply just a miniature version of what they did. What they did was far worse than what's going on in Gaza. Gaza's bad. It's genocide. What they did was far worse and much longer. That's the legacy of Christianity. Murder, rape, disease. They wiped out the native population with genocide and disease. Smallpox blankets, knowing they was full with disease. Herpes, syphilis, gonorrhea from sleep with animals. So-called common cold was not common. Didn't exist here on this side of the world until they brought it here. Murder, rape. When they was raping our women, there was a cross hanging from their neck. And again, they taught blacks that this was God's will. God's will. Enslavement of our people. And they continue on even today. That's the legacy of Christianity, the cross. So where's your rap sheet? Every time they arrest one of our people, your rap sheet. What's your rap sheet? How are you going to judge people for murder when you're guilty of murder beyond imagination for hundreds of years? Hundreds of years. Theft. You stole this land and murdered its people. And you crushed the native people here. When the braves would go out hunting, you would come into the camps like cowards and kill the women and smash the children's brains out on the hooves of your horses. This is the legacy of Christianity. That's the legacy of it. The question is, if instead of Columbus coming here, Dracula came here, Beelzebub, Wolfman, Frankenstein, Satan, and they all came instead of Columbus. What could they have done that Columbus and those that followed him did? Satan is the God of this world. That's the God they're serving. They have known him by their works. What are the works of Christianity? What are the works of Christianity? Where's the works of Christianity? evil, deception, mischief, bloodshedding. It goes on today. And what's going on in Gaza, just reflection and microcosm of what was done here in America for hundreds of years. Raped out women incessantly. They would even rape while they was out in the fields picking cotton. They would jump off their horse and tell them to bend over and rape them. And tell them to keep picking cotton while they was doing it. This is the kind of stuff that they would do. Make one slave defecate and enslave in the mouth of another slave, and then bound it up so they couldn't spit it out for 7 days. That's a legacy of slavery. You did it all in the name of Jesus. That's a legacy of slavery. Legacy of slavery. 40 years plus. Legacy of Christianity. Legacy of the cross. That's the legacy. That's the true legacy. So whose works are those? Who are you serving? Who are you serving? The legacy of the cross. Where's your rap sheet, America? Gog? Where's your rap sheet, Magog? Britain? Where's your mateship? Where's your rap sheet? Antichrist, false Israel? Where's your rap sheet? Then they colonized Africa. They're stealing from ripping off everyone. That's the legacy of Christianity. It's been ruling for over 500 years. And now, the threat of nuclear war to finish off everything. That's a legacy of Christianity in the name of your Jesus.
Surely you ain't talking about us packing our bags and going westward or going out there in the land. Ain't no cities, no towns, no infrastructure out there. Surely you ain't talking about that, are you? No. We ain't going back to Africa. No. This is your land. Our sweat, our tears, our blood has earned us the right to the land. What God wants you to do is come out of their ways. Come out of their pagan holidays, where you should be honoring Jesus. You are out here buying bunny rabbits and inviting your children to paint eggs for some Easter hunt. Come out of her. Get the Santa Claus out of your house and a tree that is the way of the pagans. Come out of her. St. Valentine's Day. The heck is that? Excuse me. Come out of her name. Come out of her religion. Come out of her culture. Come out of her way of life. Come out of her educational system.
Back to their people. When they was put off on the shores of North America. And the ship, Jesus, that John Hawkins brought out their skill. They stood and stared at it disappearing in the whole rhythm, crying, watching to return, with their hands stretched out towards that ship, and tied in chains themselves bound together. And when they was put off on this memorable shows, they stood there staring at that ship that brought them to a strange land and a strange people who could not speak either one's language. Now they have to live in a strange country and a strange people who had proven to them every mile from their native land that they were going to be the worst enemies that they ever lived with. They were going to be the people that would destroy them. They soon discovered that on this ship that they were being brought here on. I don't know how we should say anything in the name of Jesus of good for us when this ship was named Jesus. This is how that we have always been deceived by the white man, trying to use Jesus, the name Jesus, to lull us off in a mental sleep, thinking that we are on our way to heaven. This is terrible. My beloved brothers and sisters, this is very hard for us to even to accept today. Imagine our parents standing crying to return to their native land and people, and you here today crying to stay with the very enemy that brought our fathers in subjection to their will. You and I, turning your face from your own native land and turning it back towards our own prison house and our own enemies who have destroyed us and seeks to further destroy us. How do you feel? How do you feel? Not wanting to return to your people. They are trying to make love with the very people that destroy say. And even today, they are beating and shooting you down throughout the country. There is no justice here for you and me. Why should not you want to be separated and be returned to your own? I ask you that question. Think over your parents on the eastern shore of North America, crying and praying to God to be returned to their arms 400 years ago. How would they like, or you like to see them rise up in the judgment, condemning you for being such fools as now want to live in the land that absolutely enslaved them and killed them and beat them for 300 long years here. They would condemn you as being fools for not wanting to be separated and go to your own, build up a nation for yourself after the white man say you were free. Remember that.
make it. Surely you ain't talking about us packing our bags and going westward or going out there in the land. Ain't no cities, no towns, no infrastructure out there. Surely you ain't talking about that, are you? No. We ain't going back to Africa. No. This is your land. Our sweat, our tears, our blood has earned us the right to the land. What God wants you to do is come out of their ways. Come out of their pagan holidays where you should be honoring Jesus. You are out here buying bunny rabbits and inviting your children to paint eggs for some Easter hunt. Come out of her. Get the Santa Claus out of your house and a tree that is the way of the pagans. Come out of her. St. Valentine's Day. The heck is that? Excuse me. Come out of her name. Come out of her religion. Come out of her culture. Come out of her way of life. Come out of her educational system.
Back to their people. When they was put off on the shores of North America. And this ship, Jesus, that John Hawkins brought our best skill. They stood and stared at it disappearing in the whole rhythm, crying, watching to return, with their hands stretched out towards that ship, and tied in chains themselves bound together. And when they was put off on this memorable shows, they stood there staring at that ship that brought them to a strange land and these strange people who could not speak either one's language. Now they have to live in a strange country and a strange people who had proven to them every mile from their native land that they were going to be the worst enemies that they ever lived with. They were going to be the people that would destroy them. They soon discovered that on this ship that they were being brought here on. I don't know how we should say anything in the name of Jesus of good for us when this ship was named Jesus. This is how that we have always been deceived by the white man, trying to use Jesus, the name Jesus, to lull us off in a mental sleep, thinking that we are on our way to heaven. This is terrible. My beloved brothers and sisters, this is very hard for us to even to accept today. Imagine our parents standing crying to return to their native land and people, and you here today crying to stay with the very enemy that brought our seeks to further destroy us. How do you feel? How do you feel? Not wanting to return to your people. They are trying to make love with the very people that destroyed you and your parents. How do you feel? Acting such. And even today, they are beating and shooting you down throughout the country. There is no justice here for you and me. Why is it that you want to be separated and be returned to your home? I ask you that question. Think over your parents on the eastern shore of North America, crying and praying to God to be returned to their arms 400 years ago. How would they like, or you like to see them rise up in the judgment, condemning you for being such fools as now want to live in the land that absolutely enslaved them and killed them and beat them for 300 long years here. They would condemn you as being fools for not wanting to be separated and go to your own, build up a nation for yourself after the white man say you were free. Remember that.
Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Sulman Rahim here, Veteran of Covenant. Okay, brothers and sisters, it's been a year now, and we're finally home after 40 years in Arabia. I'm reporting to you from Arabia. Finally home after 40 years, right? And so we've been here a year now, and there was an agreement made. Our former slave master, he said, We had a choice. Stay here or leave. Right? So we chose our inheritance, Arabia. So we left. And half the original people decided they wanted to give up their inheritance and trade it for a place in America in reconciliation with their former slave master. That's their choice. They chose, said, we don't want to go over to Arabia. We don't go over there with sand and all that stuff. We want to stay here in America. We've been here all our lives, been here 40 years, born here, right? And we can make peace with our slave master. Okay, so they decided to stay. And so after a year, right, we get reports of how things are going over there. And it doesn't sound too good. How things are going over in America with their reparations. Because they was given, they got 6 states, I believe. Yeah, see? Yeah. Yeah, they got those 6 states right there. That's what FARRACON told them. They was following, listening to FARRACON. FARRACON promised them, they stay there, 6 states, right? Had their own land. And they can make reconciliation with the former slave master. They're not devils. They're not devils. They're human beings. They just had a rough, they were just, did some things wrong, but now they're gonna make amends and make reparations. So 6 states, and in addition to that, they gave everybody $1 million. Everybody stayed $1 million. Okay? Say, thank you, FARRACON. They're so happy. Thank you, FARRACON. Thank you, FARRACON. Man, you got 6 states. That's what you promised us. We got 6 states. They're thanking you. Thank you, FARRACON. Right? And this was a year ago. They got the 6 states. Thank you, FARRACON. Right? Everybody got $1 million. Everybody $1 million. And they're rejoicing. Oh man, they're so happy. Hey, we came here. We made it. We got America, man. We got reconciliation for a master. We got 6 states. Everybody got $1 million. We're all rich. That was a year ago when we left. So we're in Arabia. They're still back there in America. And now we're getting reports a year later. This was the way it was a year ago, man. They were so happy. They were so happy. Right? And now we get reports of what's going on right now. Let's see. Oops, it says a power failure. Great power failure in those 6 states. Power failure. And it's just those 6 states. Right? So, and now they had a big and massive, they came asking to turn the power. Well, why can't they do it? Oh, FARRACON didn't train anybody. He was telling you about 6 states, but he never prepared you for them. So nobody knows how to do it. How to turn the power grid back on. So now he's begging, man, master, can you come and turn this thing back on for us? I mean, you would think that if he told him 6 states and promised him that he would have prepared him for it, right? Their schools and education, whatever they needed for that. But I guess they didn't, because they said over there now he's begging the former master to come and turn the power back on. And then what? I mean, this is all that's happening now. I mean, I'm getting these imports in now. A year later, it's like they're coming in every hour. Power grid failure, right? Then say, oops, crop failure. All of a sudden, there's no. They say, they looked at the farmers when they done the farmers said, oh. So then, master, what's happening here? How come you know? Right? our crop. They found that the land they gave them wasn't that fertile. A year later, nothing's growing. Crop failure. And now Master, what's happening here? Right? And then, I mean, all these things, every hour that's coming in, right? And then they look, and they had, a year ago, they had plenty of food on the shelves, right? And now, they look there now, and all the food's gone. It's gone. And she said, what am I going to do here? Food's gone. The house is empty. So he said, Master, we need some food. Well, how come you can't put your own food? I mean, you want your own country. You got your own states. That's your country. Then you run it. What are you calling us for? Right? So they're praying. And then, oops, no fuel. There's Master, no fuel there. Well, you got to buy your fuel. You got to produce your own fuel. What you calling us for? You got your own 6 states now. What you calling us for? Go and get some fuel. You got money, right? You got your own states. So you got to get your own. What you calling us for? You said you wanted your own, so now you got it. And you got your reparation, so we don't owe you anything anymore. We don't owe you anything anymore, so what you calling us for? We don't owe you anything. You said you agreed to 6 states and $1 million per person. You took that instead of your inheritance, what you call the Abrahamic covenant, Arabia. Your brothers and sisters, they left. They took that was offered to them. They took it, and you said no. I want this instead. So now you got it. So what you calling us for? Oh, no communications. Oh, man. No communications, right? No medical facilities. So what's going on, Master? Wait a minute, hold on. What you calling us for? That's yours. You got to handle that stuff. You want us to handle it for you? You want independence, now you have it. I mean, wow, this stuff was coming every hour, man. Instead of like a year, they was celebrating. And now they're crying and begging the Master, hey, look at all these problems here. I said, wait a minute, that's yours. Where'd you come about your problems? You have to work those out. Right? No transportation, I mean, no planes, no nowhere. We learned about fly the planes and drive the trucks and the boats and stuff and to go and get this stuff. What would you tell us for? You wanted this, you got it. So go ahead and train your own pilots, build your own planes, build your own boats and right? You see what I'm saying? Transportation, build your own trucks. What you calling for? Yeah, Master, we see this. You said you wanted 6 states, you got it. You want $1 million per person. That was the reparations. So then if you didn't prepare people to take care of this, how's that our problem? You're independent now. You're really free now. Oops, no fuel, the gas station's empty. I can't drive, man. And no gas. Man, wow. All this stuff happened like for a year. They thought that everything was great, and all of a sudden everything ran out. So I guess what happened? Everything was there when they got it, and then it ran out. They had to replace the fuel, to get the farms going. So they was left with that stuff. The factory was full. I mean, warehouses full. Then you had to keep. They thought that was just going. I guess they thought it was just going to be there, just by itself. They didn't prepare for it. See? And they ain't trained any engineers and scientists and architects and stuff. They business. They didn't train anybody. So FARRACON, And he told you he's going to get this for you, but he didn't prepare you for it. He didn't get anybody to handle this stuff. So what was that all about? So now he asked the master, said, hey, don't call on me. You was here, you had it when you was here with me. You said you want independence, you wanted reparations, so you gave it to you. Well, call on your brothers over there. They left, they handled their own business. You said you want to stay here. Right? Don't have any professionals or technicians, scientists, doctors, none of that. See? I mean, that's what, you know, because, I mean, if you're going to set reparation, you should be preparing for that, right? So if he was telling you about reparation, you should be preparing for it. If he said, God said that's where he's going to get you, so if God told him he's going to get that for you, then he should, like when God told Noah there was a flood coming, to only build an ark, so he started building an ark. And so you should start preparing for the 6 states and the reparations, but apparently you didn't. And so now, the devil said, look, hold it. We want total separation. I mean, look, we don't want you to call us no more. We don't want you to call us no more. Because you're wearing us. You want your own country. You got your own land. Right? You got money, $1 million, all this stuff, right? And so now we got to protect your money and everything too? No, you have to really create your own money. You have to do all these things, your own wealth, not ours. Right? So we're going to cut you off from that too. That's all economics. So they go and tell it. They tell all the people and all the white folks, right? Because all the black folks, and all the black folks is either in Arabia or in those 6 states. That's the solution. You had to be one way or the other. There couldn't be no integration, that kind of stuff. That's the deal. You just said one or the other. So all the black folks are there, ain't no integration, that kind of stuff, right? Black folks are there, one or the other, so they're there. So he said, okay, right? So they just say, we're going to take that money because we don't know what y'all doing over there. You have your own money, you have your own wealth. So what they do is they tell all the white folks, say, protect your money, right? Transfer your money into gold. Just all your dollars into gold. Now remember, they gave everybody $1 million a piece. So everybody got $1 million a piece, right? And so they transfer it to gold. And then what happens is that what they do is they start just printing money. White folks just start printing money. You understand what that means? That's inflation. Right? Because if you got $1 million of gold, a million ounces of gold, I say a million ounces of gold, understand this, and you got a million certificates, then you say each certificate is worth 1 ounce. If you got a million ounce, each certificate is worth 1 ounce. Understand that? If you got a million ounces of gold and you got a million certificates, each one of those certificates is worth 1 million. You know, if you want to say trade with the certificates, each one of the certificates is worth 1 ounce of gold. Right? But if you take and print you say you got a million ounces of gold and you got a million certificates, each one, but say you print twice as many certificates, you got 2 million. Well, then each certificate is only worth 50 cents now because you got to connect that to the gold. Well, you print 4 times, then each one is worth a quarter. So the more you print, the less they worth because those certificates has to equal what the gold is. You understand? So the more you print money, the less, right? The less they're worth. So if you print twice as much money, right, there's less gold. You understand? So $1 is worth an ounce of gold, which that's right. Then if you print double that amount of dollars, then each one's worth half an ounce. You understand? That's what printing money without increasing their wealth does. That's inflation. So what happens is they keep printing. They get down to where $100 is worth a penny. But see, that doesn't affect their people. They told to protect their money because they transfer their money to gold. So gold still has its value. It's just the dollars don't. It still got the same amount of gold. But the dollars, they get down to a penny. So you can't buy it. You had $1 million, now your $1 million worth of $5. That's what all this worth. $1 hardly worth anything. Hey, that's our money. You got to have your own money. You control your own wealth. You can't keep coming at us what you're doing. And you think they wouldn't do that? Yeah, you've been a Gaza lately? You see what happened to the trees they made with the so-called natives? Kept telling me you had a forked tongue because they kept making trees with them, then they broke the trees. And took their land and genocide and everything else. But no, they wouldn't do that to you. See? Because now you have, your money's worth nothing. They haven't lost anything. Because once that money's worthless, it's no good, right? Then you bury it up, throw it away. It's worth nothing. The people still got gold, and even if they take it, hold on the money, hope it increase again, they just use another different certificate, use another form of money. So it's still worth nothing. That $1 million you had, you was so happy with it, now it's probably worth maybe $1. You can't buy anything with $1. Plus the economy's collapse because everything is failing, and you don't know how to repair it. You don't know how to build communications. You don't know how to do any of this stuff. You're not an engineer, build a house. You don't know how to do anything because FARRACON didn't. Right? He didn't prepare you. He told you he'll give you 6 days. He told you, listen to me, right? So now you're broke, and your economy is gone. You have no food, no electricity, no power, anything. All right? It's not their fault. They gave you what you asked for. You still had your inheritance for that. And then they closed the border. Because you want to try to get back into America now. We want to come back in, Master. No, we don't want you back in here. We sorry, we want to come in. No. That's what you chose. You stay there. They closed the border, so you can't get back in here. You can't get back in America, into what you call your land now? Swaziland or something? FARRACON. Maybe you call it travel land. FARRACON. They met the FARRACON, right? So they closed the borders. You can't. Because now you're hungry and everything else. Your money's worthless. Oh God, come back, Master. I'll come back work for you. I'll work for Popeyes. I'll do anything you want. No, we remember, the blacks either they over in Arabia or they in that land. There are no blacks in America, any places, just in that land that you 6 days. And now you're starving. You ain't got your money's worthless. Nothing works, and they close the border. Right? And then you see Master, he on the phone. You talking to the guy that you kept treating, help you. Hey, we finally got rid of niggas. Finally got rid of them. Finally got rid of them. See, he's sitting on the phone. Yeah, it worked. We sold them the reparations. We sold them that used car. They turned the miles back and everything else, and they bought it. See, they could have had a BMW. They could have had a Lamborghini. They sold that for a BMW that looked good. Damn thing didn't work. And now they're starving, living in tents. Praying. So what? Then what next? What we gonna do, FARRACON? What we gonna do, FARRACON? You told us to take reparations, so we did. But they gave us everything we asked for. What we gonna do, FARRACON? What we gonna do? Pray, 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 pray. That's his answer. Pray, pray, pray. That's your reparations. Like Elijah Muhammad said, he had a big picture. We leaving, and blacks staying on the shore, the ones stay behind, and those whooping their ass. Right? I thought you think they want to give you some land and take care of you? You think they want to do that? And go bankrupt, give everybody $1 million? How much that is? If it's 17 million, that's 17 million times 17 million times a million is like $17 trillion, I think, something like that there. And they're going to do all that for you. They want to get rid of you. So now they have succeeded. Because they closed the border. What you going to do? You want to fight to come out? They closed the border. They got the military around there. They finally got rid of you. No more black problem, no more Negro problem anymore. One group's out of here, another group that's here. They're gone, and our hands are clean. We gave them what they wanted. Well, anything. Okay. God honors contracts. Remember, he honored the contract with Jacob. Esau sold his birthright for a bowl of soup to Jacob. It was Esau's inheritance, and God honored it. Okay, Jacob, it's yours. You're the one. And that's the deal. Because he ain't your friend. Farrakon ain't your friend. Pray, pray, pray. That's the answer. And this homeland you was promised, you rejected it. So now you got what you asked for. Okay. So if they gave you reparations today or tomorrow, how would that scenario not play out like that? Well, they say, okay, we got it, you got it. Tell me how the scenario wouldn't play out like that. And tell me why they wouldn't do it. They love you so much, they're going to say, okay, we're going to take care of them. I mean, why should they go out their way to take care of you when you was right here? You was working at Popeyes and then they get up on Section 8, all that stuff right here, because you know they're trying to get rid of that stuff right now. Trump's trying to get all that stuff right now. Because they're closing on you, you don't realize it. Anyway, that's just, that's what's happening over in America. Wow. Boys, come here. Disaster over there. And, oh, I just got a call. Oh, wait, hold on. Really? You serious? Our ambassador just got a call from I don't know what they call it Conland or something. I forgot what it is, something they call it right there. That 6th day. They're begging us to come and help. Can they come over here? Can we come and get them? Really? Can we come and get them and bring them? Oh, no. Now he wouldn't ask Master Farad Muhammad, right? He said, no, hell no. We ain't going to get them. And I agree with that. Yeah, the pastor said he said, let's call him, and he passed the word to Master Farad Muhammad. Master Muhammad said, send him back. Listen, no, we can't come and get you. You made your choice. Live with it. But die, whatever the situation is. Wow. I can't believe that. They actually, right, sent a message over. I don't know how they did. I don't have any communication with them. Somehow they got the information over to them. Said, would we please come and get them? Nope. Said, no, tell them no. And don't waste time communicating with us anymore. You got your land. You got your reparations. You got your money. You got Farrakon as your leader. Yeah, tell him. Talk to him. Let him straighten out for you. He didn't want to sell you the idea. He was a salesman. So you on that idea of reparations. We told you. Right? Suleiman, right? He was the messenger to you, telling you, look, man, let's go home. You said no. You chose not to. Okay, well, since that's a side story. But I guess that's it. Is that it? Oh, so they might get any more reports on okay, he says that was Master Farad Muhammad's final decision, and I think they closed communications off from there. So, like I said, brothers and sisters, we got those guys that came in. All that came in today, man. That came in fast. after a whole year, total collapse. And they begging it, somebody help them. We can't do it. Maybe Master help you. We won't do it. Assalamu alaikum. Update, brothers and sisters, got another late report in that they said, well, if you want to come and get us, will we at least send some food? They begged, said, please send some food. Master Muhammad said, no, we got to send them a damn thing, nothing, zero. He said, please just send some food. No, I just got that in. He says, if you can't come and get us, please send some food. He says, no. He refused. That's the report. I just got the information from the ambassador. He said, they sent that. He's read to me. He says, no. He said, please, just please send us some food. He said, no, no way. You made your choice. Case closed. Okay. Just got that in, brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum.